Have you ever just stopped and wondered, what would it actually be like to live with the freedom of a pirate in our world today? I'm not talking about the caricature, I mean that real untethered freedom to chase your own adventure. Well, what if I told you that a certain straw hat wearing pirate wasn't just on some incredible journey, but was actually tapping into a hidden law of reality? A law that, yeah, you can use too. Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're a One Piece fan, you've definitely asked this question. How on earth does Monkey D. Luffy consistently beat the odds, take down entire empires, and win fights that seem completely impossible? Is it really just, plot armor, or is something else going on here? The answer, it turns out, is so much deeper than that. What if Luffy's success isn't just some lucky storytelling trick, but a perfect example of a powerful, kind of hidden law that governs our reality? A law that you can actually learn to use yourself. So let's really put this guy under the microscope, because Luffy, he's more than just a character. He's basically a living, breathing case study for a principle so powerful, it can literally shift the world around you. You see, Luffy's whole deal isn't just about beating up bad guys. It's a fight for the purest kind of freedom you can imagine. He couldn't care less about rules or titles or what society says is possible. He literally laughs in the face of mortal danger. And that joy, that absolute certainty in his own freedom, that is his real superpower. It's an energy, a frequency, that just bends the rules of the game in his favor. So how does this all actually work? Well, this brings us to this really revolutionary framework that kind of explains the mechanics behind Luffy's luck. Think of it like a system for hacking your own life's path. Now, this isn't some vague spiritual concept. It was actually developed by a Russian quantum physicist named Vadim Zeland. So think of it like this. Reality is like an infinite Netflix library of possible life stories. Seriously, every outcome, every possibility, it already exists. Your thoughts and your intentions, they're the remote control. You're not writing the movie. You're just choosing which one to play. And this right here is the crucial difference. Most self-help talks about attracting what you want, which kind of puts you in this passive state of waiting and hoping. Transurfing flips that on its head. It says you don't attract it, you choose it. It's like walking down an aisle in a store and just taking what you want off the shelf. It's a huge shift from wishing to actively choosing. And this brings it all right back to Luffy. He is an absolute master of this, and he has no idea. He never read the book, he just is the book. Every single thing he does isn't a hope or a wish, it's a pure, unfiltered choice of the reality he wants. He's already selected the I'm Gonna Be Pirate King movie, and he's just watching the plot unfold. So let's break down his natural technique. First, there is zero doubt in his mind he'll be Pirate King. It's just a fact to him. Second, he doesn't create importance around things. That's a key transurfing concept. Basically, you mentally shrink your obstacles instead of making them seem huge. To him, an Emperor of the Sea is just another guy in the way, not some terrifying god. Third, he refuses to feed what transurfing calls pendulums. Think of these as big group thought bubbles, like mass fear or outrage. He just doesn't give them his energy. And, maybe most importantly, his soul and his mind are in perfect unity. But to really use this power of choice, you have to do something kind of radical first. You have to be willing to question the entire map of reality that you've been handed since you were born. Because you can't choose a new destination if you don't even realize you're allowed to leave the old roads. This quote comes from some deep dives into alternative histories. And look, whether you believe any specific theory or not is totally irrelevant here. The real power of this idea is that it trains your brain to look at the world and ask, wait a minute, is the official story the whole story? And that questioning of the past, it connects directly to our present. This quote suggests that all those old structures of control, they haven't disappeared. They've just changed their clothes. They've gotten more sophisticated, working through things like finance, media, and social pressure. It's the same world government, just wearing a different mask. So the main point here isn't to fall down some rabbit hole, not at all. It's about developing the mindset of a true pirate, having the courage to question the official map of your own life, your career, your beliefs, and what everyone has told you is possible for you. So how do we take all this theory and put it into action? What does it actually look like to live by a modern pirate's code right here in 2026? You know, just like in One Piece, our world has always had its own pirates and revolutionaries. These are the people who just say no to the way things are. They're the dreamers, the creators, who choose to build their own thing instead of depending on a job, who build their own skills instead of waiting for someone to tell them what to do. They choose real freedom over the illusion of safety. This is basically the modern pirate's checklist. It's all about building your own ship instead of just being a passenger on someone else's. It means choosing to create your own way, to learn skills that actually matter, to become self-reliant, to build a strong crew you can trust, and maybe the most important one, to always seek truth, even when it's uncomfortable. But here's the most advanced technique in the whole pirate code. The best way to dismantle a system isn't to fight it with its own weapons, like anger and fear. It's to embody a higher frequency. Luffy, as Nika the sun god, doesn't just beat his enemies, he liberates them with joy and laughter. And why is that so powerful? Because you can't control someone who is genuinely laughing. Joy is a frequency that those systems of control just can't compute. This is the ultimate hack, really. Systems of control are built on fear, on scarcity, on anxiety. When you consciously decide to operate from a place of real joy and creativity and freedom, which is Luffy's default state, you become energetically incompatible with those systems. It's simple. You're just not playing their game anymore. Okay, so we've gone through the theory, we've looked at the practice. Now let's bring it all home to you. How do you actually activate this power and find your One Piece? This right here, this is the master key. The source of all this power to shape your reality is aligning your soul and your mind. Your soul is your deepest, most real desire. For Luffy, that's pure ultimate freedom. His mind, simple as it is 100% on board with that plan. There's no self-doubt, no inner conflict, nothing. This pure, solid intention is what lets him bend reality to his will. If you forget everything else from this, just remember this one thing. This is the big takeaway. Your internal reality, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, that's the projector. The world you see outside, that's just the screen. To change the movie, you don't go up and fight with the screen, you change the film inside the projector. Period. And that leaves us with one final and really important question. What is that grand treasure, that ultimate dream, that symbol of absolute freedom in your life? Because just like Luffy, you have the power not just to go looking for it, but to actually choose it into existence. Your grand adventure is waiting for you.